gonna add something?
I don't know. Are we gonna add some things? I think this will be a lot to talk about, but I can't think of any
Maybe we'll think of some mid-video.
big differences. We're gonna talk about sex.
Hi, beautiful beings. My name is Brittany.
And I'm Bridget.
And today we're going to be sharing about similarities and differences between us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this cute Instagram post of this chick couple. Not that it had to be a chick couple, but it was, that did this. And I sent it to Bridget and I was like, let's do something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of similarities.
We are really similar.
And we have some powerful differences.
Yeah. I think that we have a good combination of both.
Yeah.
Shall we start with similarities?
Yeah. We made a list.
We made a list
we're
that
gonna
we might
reference.
refer to.
Yeah. But we're very similar in the way we live. Just like our daily flow, our lifestyle,
Yeah.
how we like to spend our time, the amount of like self-care and movement we like to do,
Nature time.
the way we eat. But that was a difference in the beginning.
In the beginning, we ate differently. But a lot of like I think the general philosophies we came together under were really similar about like, I think our trust in the natural world and both really kind of like empowered to care for ourselves as opposed to like turn to systems that we were taught to depend on growing up.
Yeah.
I feel like we did a lot of breaking away from systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely the least involved in like medical or politics or that kind of stuff of anyone I know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's cool. Like the way we are similar is so much of like how we choose to spend our time and energy.
Yeah, I love that. I think we have really similar values.
Yeah, values. That's
Yeah.
a great word.
We both love to adventure.
Yeah.
And
we also like being home and domestic life and like building and business and then also have this sense for adventure.
Yeah, I feel like we have a cool balance of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say something else.
And it's cool, maybe we could share about this, is we've been very domestic for the last 5 years since Ilya's been born, which has been so fun. We've been nesting and building, and we're both such lovers of adventure.
Oh yeah.
And so we have this grand plan for the summer, which we're feeling really excited about.
Should we not tell them and tell them
Yeah,
an upcoming video?
We'll tell them an upcoming video.
That's exciting. You'll see. It'll be big news. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and something that was really beautiful for me, we took our first solo trip last fall, and we like to travel the same.
It was so easy.
It was
like the
I've
easiest.
never had such an easy time traveling with anyone.
It was like we have the same rhythms, and it just felt so simple. And it's cool because we have that in our day-to-day life.
Yeah.
But to like have this very intentional time together, and then to get to be like, wow, we really want to do all the same things, and it's just natural. Yeah, and
for me, something I noticed is we like to spend about the same amount of time in a certain spot, and then we would feel inspired to move forward. We like to be rock scrambling the same amount of time before we would like bathe in the sun. We like to eat around the same time or bring the same amount of snacks. Then we like to go out to dinner at the same time.
It's cool because like I think people observe us and we're very similar, right? Like our mannerisms, what we spend our time doing. We get asked if we're sisters a lot.
And I think that's natural. Like we did come together with a lot of similarities in those things. And then also over time, our language has become more like one another as we've been around each other and also as we've evolved in our communication. And these are natural things that you become more like the people you're around.
Yeah, there was this video I did with Connor, and there was like 150 comments on the video that said the same thing. It was like, Bridget talks exactly like Brittany. And I just thought it's funny because that's just like me. Yeah. And I think we're just so similar there.
Yeah.
So I thought it's cool because we're so similar on the outside, and I think people really see that. And then there's some really powerful differences that are more like energetic in the way we process things, maybe like our makeup, our upbringings. And so,
yeah, for sure. So our nervous
systems. Yeah.
Okay, a couple more similarities before we go on to that. I think we have a similar sense of humor for the most part, with some differences, but I love cracking up with you. And we seem to be like attracted to or enjoy being around the same people or the same energies,
and we'll like have the same reflections about the people that we're spending time with.
And then I think it's cool to talk about like affection and sex. I think overall we really like to have like the same amount of touch and touch each other in similar ways for the most part, like to be touched in similar ways. And there's some small differences there too as well.
And
come up for us.
And sexually I feel like we like to have sex the same amount. And there's some subtle differences.
There's some subtle differences. And there's like in the ways we like to connect or make love, or how like erotic or spiritual or like playful or sweet that is. I think if I like tune into who we are in the overall picture, I think we're really similar there. And then also sometimes maybe the way that has been expressed in our relationship or the way we could be feeling at different times doesn't always sync up. But overall, I feel like we're quite similar there as well. Okay, so differences. This is fun. Okay, should we start with the simple ones or the deep ones?
Let's start with the deep one.
Okay. How we process things.
I'm very external and loud and maybe sometimes theatrical.
You know what Bridget is feeling when she's feeling
it's like very, you can, I wear it. And you're a little more internal.
I'm more like have my process internally.
It's like the step back where I'm like big.
I like to be like have it processed and complete and then like come to you with the final product. That would be like my ideal world most of the time. Whereas I think you do really well to process it out. Like if I can hold the space that you need, I think it's really healthful and like life-giving for you.
And in the beginning, so like Brittany said, if she can hold the space that I need for that and not take it on, which is challenging when your partner is expressing some big emotions, it's hard not to take that on. And so in the beginning of our relationship, it was challenging for us to navigate. And as we've learned that about each other, and because also it was hard for me because that's my process, right? So that's what I know. And so Brittany's like not sharing things, and I'm like, dude, let's come on, like what? So, it's been helpful for me and us to know these things about each other because it's so much easier to communicate and to just like, I know Brittany's in a process and I can ask too, like, hey, I want you to like let me into your process a little bit.
Right. Which helps me feel safe because at this point Bridget knows like what I need to let someone into my process. Because it can be like a really tender world inside there in those moments for me. And I will say about going back to you expressing, two things I think have really developed over these years, which is one, I have learned how to hold space better, whether your communication is coming from like really a grounded language that is, ideal that one would want to receive, or even if it's not as ideal. And your communication has changed so much in how you express yourself. And and that's so helpful because it can be really hard in partnership to not take on a feeling of like, this is my fault, like I did something to my partner. And if both partners are working to know that's never true, it's helpful. So Bridget's language is great. She's not telling me that I did something or like I'm in charge of how she feels. That's helpful. And then if I'm listening and making sure, even if Bridget is speaking that way, I'm listening for like how she's feeling. It's really helpful, and it's always, you know, a working progress.
It's a practice,
Yeah,
you know, because in the beginning when we were having these big conversations, you know, this has always been a process of mine. Like it feels easy in my system, where it has felt big for your system. And so as I've learned to communicate more with like I language and to
share how you're feeling and your story. Yeah.
So my emotions or my expression can still be big, but it's my language around it has changed, which has
so helpful for me.
It's so helpful.
Yeah. And because I'm really interested in human design right now, there's like, it's helped me understand more of this about us, which is, this kind of relates to it. Bridget is an emotional authority. So that means like, as I understand it, she needs this process. You know, she needs to feel the depth of everything, and that is how she...
And I want to share it.
Right.
And I want to be seen in it.
And that's how she, like, learns the world and learns herself and learns other people. And and she needs someone like me who has an open emotional center who can really receive and feel her, and like really I can really deeply feel her, which was a lot at first. But now, I mean, it can be our superpower because I can have the power to like help her really feel felt and seen. And I'm an intuitive, or like a splenic authority, and my process and my like knowing comes from a more intuitive place as opposed to like the emotional place. And we're both projectors, in case if you were wondering about that. Okay.
That feels good.
That's kind of
similar.
Well, yeah, so the expansion on that is like making decisions. Actually, I think there's plenty to say about this. I've noticed it recently.
But yeah, because we've been this experience we're gonna have this summer, we've been kind of making some decisions around it. And I'm one that, you know, Brittany's like, yes, I'm feeling it. It feels like she's
cool. I'm in. Yeah, let's do that. We got it.
I'm just gonna yes. I feel inspired, so I'm gonna follow that feeling. And I'm like, wait.
Are you sure?
You know, going into more of like the logical process and trying on the different things. And, you know, so this is part of my emotional authority, is like, I want to try on the different scenarios and talk them out before I make a decision. And I wouldn't say it like before we were in a relationship, I was so in my logical process, but I think because it's so easy for you to make a decision, it's almost like I really need
You said that the other day. You're like, the more certain you are, the more I feel like I need to question things.
Kind of like calibrate that.
Yeah, it's been really helpful for me to understand this about both of us and celebrate it, because it used to feel challenging for me when I felt like really clear and Bridget would keep questioning things, or sometimes it was a decision that didn't even involve me and I'd hear Bridget like go back and forth. Or this week we had decided, Ilya was with us on Sunday, and we decided not to go to ecstatic dance. And it's like, ecstatic dance has already started. We're like all having breakfast. I can't remember what it was, but we're just like, are you guys sure we don't want to go to dance? And I was just like, are you kidding me?
You never know.
Exactly.
Yeah, you might be feeling something different in the moment.
Yeah.
And this comes to also my decision making is like, it's hard for me to make plans because I don't know how I'm going to be feeling. And so much, like I have to really feel it in the moment to fully be there. And when I do feel it, I'm so there. But if I'm like, it's not feeling aligned that day and I may have made plans, that can feel like a huge internal conflict for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually there's one I didn't write down, but it kind of branches off of these, which is like more fixed versus adaptable. I feel that seems to be a big theme for us as well.
Yeah.
You want to speak to that? You want me to?
Yeah, and I'm a fixed sign. So Leo is a fixed sign, where Brittany is
I'm a cardinal sign.
Sign, so you're like an initiator of change. So adaptive.
There's also, there's more in my makeup. There's just like, there's multiple pieces of both of our makeups depending on how you look at it, through what lens. But yeah, how it shows up for us, I think, is that I feel pretty much can do just about anything.
Brittany's down. She's like, you know, which works, because it's like I want to simple thing, or if we're gonna go out to dinner or something like this, it's like, I really gotta feel it. And Brittany's like,
I can get into that.
I can get into that. But like, it's, what am I trying to say? It's like, I feel like you're so adaptable that it can sometimes like fall on me because
to make
I'm
the decisions.
so fixed.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've noticed, like, I am totally capable of making decisions. However, I've noticed over the years that there are some times where Bridget genuinely wants me to make a decision. Say that you're bleeding or you have a lot going on and you're just like, I want you to take care of it. Then that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the time for me to be like, cool, this is what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. But if it's like one of those times where Bridget might kind of be presenting that way, but actually, like, if I'll know because like, I'll be like, cool, well, let's go do this thing then. And Bridget will be like, I don't really want to do that. And I'm like, okay, well, like, tell me what you want to do. Or like, we were coming up with this name the other night and it was like, I think you have more of a preference than I do. So maybe you want to choose it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a big difference between us.
Yeah. And these are all things we've gotten really good at communicating about.
Yeah.
And like knowing and being able to name, and that's helpful.
Because ultimately, like, in a simple terms, I want to experience joy beside you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm here for the fullness of life, but my goal is for us both to feel great. Yeah. And I want what we do and how we live to feel really good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Nighttime energy versus wind down.
I get like a...
Brittany's ready to go at night.
Mm-hmm.
I am like, have my process. I'm winding down.
It's not a time for big conversations.
Nope.
Not a time to go
business.
out.
Brittany's like doing business, and I'm like, that's just, no. I'm done. I've like maxed out. But I have a lot of energy in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where I think you have energy in the morning too. You're just also, Brittany has a lot of energy.
I have a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
I do. It's something I've worked on. And also Ilya's helped me have less energy. I mean, Ilya has even more energy than me, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe for fewer hours of the day. But yeah, that's been a cool one, is I notice I get naturally creative around like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And I also, especially having a young child who wakes up at 5,
Mm-hmm.
I need to get to bed. So it's been really cool learning like how to feel that creativity, how much of it I can use, how much I want to be doing something like being on the computer. If I'm on it past 8, I notice.
I'm like, Brittany, come to bed.
Brittany, coming to bed. I love it. It's good. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. I've never been a night person.
I've always been a night person.
I love going to bed early. I love waking up early. I love bed. It's my favorite time of day.
Sweet versus savory.
Mm-hmm.
I got a big sweet tooth.
Yep.
Especially chocolate. And I love like baking, making desserts. Whereas Bridget, like especially in our cooking business, I'm all about the desserts. And Bridget will make all the savory. I mean, we both cook, but you seem to like savory food more than sweets.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a big sweet person.
Mm.
I just like my hearty meals. But when I am feeling sweets,
you can still eat plenty of desserts together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if like Brittany would choose sweet, and I would definitely choose savory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of already talked about that. More like spontaneous versus more logical or thought out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel spontaneous too.
You're also spontaneous.
Spontaneous bug sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a maybe smaller percentage of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have it.
Yeah. When I'm really feeling it, it's
exciting. Whenever Bridget's in one of those modes, I'm like, yeah, whatever you want to do. Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels fun to share this with you.
Yeah, and I really love that. I feel like we have a really good balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've noticed for example, in relationships or friendships where someone is more spontaneous, say, like me, we can kind of like end up on a lot of whims or adventures, whereas you ground us in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So important to have differences and similarities.
Yeah. Both. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here.